Miss Santwana Sneha, board member, Finnish Society. She says, complexity of the development sector needs a human centered nudge to drive positive change. With over 2 decades of experience, Sneha has had an unconventional and enriching journey so far. Having diversified experience in corporate and social work, she brings to the table an unique perspective. Her expertise includes research, management, and coordination, creative writing, and design thinking solutions. Her social work focuses on an inclusive approach to gender equality and climate change mitigation through sustainable solutions. She is an expert on monitoring, evaluation, and learning, and she likes to travel and read in her spare times. Welcome so much, Sneha, and thank you very much for taking out time for this interview.
Thank you so much, Juhi. Thank you for these kind words. And I'm very, very happy to be a part of this conversation. I feel a sense of pride in having a part and being a part of Finish and to where it is now. So, yeah, thank you.
So, Sneha, our first question to you is, being the only women member of Finnish Society Board, could you tell us how privileged you feel to be amongst your august male colleagues?
Sure. Interesting question. But first, I would like to just omit the part of being the only female member because, to be honest, I was never treated like the only women member. I was treated at par with the other board members, and it has been one of the most important milestones of my life and one of the biggest privileges I have had. The best part I would say is that I was not treated like how do I say, like being a female member to be a part of the board just as a checklist, but also to contribute as effectively as other board members do.
That's very nice to know. That's very nice to know. Thank you so much. Can you give a short career brief before you joined Finnish program?
Sure. I think Finish was my induction to the social work in a way that I learned that this is the career path I wanted to take. Before that, I worked in business sector. I worked in agri retail, and then I worked in retail with Future Group. So I was coming with a very corporate mindset and background. And to be honest, I was also skeptical of going and working for an NGO. But my stint with Finish changed my perspective and also built built the professional that I am today. But and also gives me an edge, I would say, right? Because coming from a corporate background also brings you value the accountability part of the corporate system where everybody is accountable, everybody is result driven, which I think is a good part that I brought from my previous stint.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds really, yeah, correct, promising. What special initiative did you take in shaping Finnish society?
I mean, there's so many things I was a part of, and I think Finnish is shaped by all of us, in different ways. But something that I think I'm proud of having contributed to is uh, designing some programs. And I remembered when we were expanding from sanitation to solid waste management, I started managing the first solid waste management project with ITC near Pune. And it was for the first time we were going to this area, and how it became like now one of the biggest verticals of our programs, learning about it, then doing it. Also, the school wash program, I think, when we were expanding the programs, I was privileged to be a part of some critical wash in school programs, implementing them, designing them. And later, what stands out is designing the entire monitoring, evaluation, and learning part of our activities as a separate vertical and building out the research vertical where we could do more and we could also connect that back to our programming. I think that has been also very unique experience, and I would say also contribution that I feel very happy about.
Yeah, thank you. And we clearly see that here. So the next question is, your contribution to GACI and MHM are well known. Can you elucidate the same for us, please?
Yeah, I mean, so when we started working in school programs and also in solid waste management, beyond sanitation, I mean, we were always thinking about how do we bring back the female impact angle again? Because in sanitation, it was all around, dignity of women, privacy of women. But when you work in other programs, how do you continue building on that approach? And that is where we started thinking about gender equality and social inclusion angle. Not not that we were not doing something on that, but just building out a strategic approach towards GACI. And that is when I think a lot of programs took a much bigger role, be it menstrual hygiene management, be it the program where we piloted the Pink School project first in Nasik, and also started bringing more women into solid waste management governance in the community structures. I think having a GACI strategic approach helped us in thinking from those angles, that how do we bring these marginalized communities and female as a marginalized stakeholder into the conversation, into decision making, and giving them a more leadership role. So that has been good. And I think also our partners in Waste, I would also give them the credit, because having a GACI related approach and expertise from them, and AMREF, because they have been worked on these topics a lot already. So for us, it was learning from them and then replicating a lot of that in India. So also, I think I appreciate their contribution to where we are on these things today.
Right, right. Well said. So, monitoring and evaluation have been your favorite subject. How have you contributed in the field of data analytics for Finnish program?
I, I I would not say my favorite subject as such. Very close to my heart, yes. I love program designing, and one thing that I learned when we were doing implementation is we're missing out on having a very uh, precise or very strategic monitoring and evaluation approach. So we were monitoring programs, but not from an angle where how does it contribute to our bigger impact goals, right? So we're looking at silos. We're looking at assessing individual programs and reporting to donor, not often thinking about how does it connects with what Finnish wants to do and how we want to impact society or communities at large. I think that's something that I learned when I was implementing programs, and that is what inspired me to come back and maybe try to lead these activities more. And I was fortunate to given that role that you can start building out MEL as a separate team and activities. One of the things that's I'm very happy to think about and reflect back is designing our MEL framework at an org level, translating it to programs level, and then working with the entire program teams to put that into a coherent structure, that what you do also is important to us, and how we report it out, how we communicate. I remember working together very closely with you on the communication around impact. So it's like I always feel that data without a story is without a soul. So that's where I think we started aligning internally more to put data story together to share our impact. I think that has been very, very enriching and fulfilling. And also designing our dashboards, working with some technical expertise like Power BI, which I happened to learn because I was doing it. So it was very fulfilling personally and professionally, and to see how it impacts, not only impacts, how it supports the implementation team, which I think should be the core and goal of monitoring, evaluation, and learning, right? It shouldn't be looked at a burden for program teams, but how can it support the program teams in making their stories bigger? That's the approach I think we took in Finnish, and I think I'm hoping that's the approach we continue to take. And it's a collaborative way of thinking towards NEL.
That's true. I completely agree. And yeah, we have done that. Yes, we are still doing that. That's good. Good to know. So, on a lighter note, a lighter question to you. What is one early memory you would like to share? Maybe something that is fun.
Lots of memories, I think, and so many good memories. I think Finnish has been a home for me, and I still feel that it will always be the home to me, and everybody in Finnish is like a family. When I joined initially, it was a very, very small team, and I was like thinking whether sometimes question whether I'm a right fit here, and I was so new to sanitation sector. I would feel like an outsider. But eventually the people, everybody was so welcoming, right? Everybody is still so welcoming in Finnish towards anybody who becomes part of that Finnish team. That was so heartening, and it gave me so much confidence to be able to grow and contribute back and eventually be part of that same family and to be able to then welcome others. So I think that transition from very beginning of my career to, let's say, 8 9 years later, was a wonderful journey to be a part of. And I don't think that journey has closed now. It's still, that journey continues in different ways of collaborating. But yeah, and there's so many more to share. And in terms of happy memories and fun together, but this is just how I would summarize it.
Sure, thank you. So, could you spell out your vision and mission for Finnish society in the coming 5 years?
Uh, yes, and I don't think I can do justice to this question very quickly, and definitely not in 5 minutes, because I keep thinking about what we can do better and what we could do more. I think we still need to find our footing in terms of how uniquely we are going to contribute in this space. I think couple of years before we were able to do that, I do think we still need to rethink, right? What's going to be our USP, especially when the developmental sector is changing so much, when the challenges we are struggling with is changing so much. Climate is a much bigger crisis now. Um, Discrimination, gender-based violence, mental health. There are so many issues coming up. And not to say that we need to pick these issues, but whatever we are working on, our core areas, how can we impact on broader range of issues, be relevant even 10 years down the line? And what do we need to take in being relevant? So continue our uniqueness, maybe add to our uniqueness. And our strength has been, I think, our grassroots teams. And I think that will continue to remain our biggest strength. But how can we communicate our stories better together in the future years? And if there are some new areas you want to take, I mean, I would love for us to do more on climate change, to more on GACI, gender equality, to more with children who are our next generation. I would love to see how we can strategize, bring out some more strengths to what we are doing, and then grow. Not just grow, but grow with a purpose.
Thank you very much, Sneha. This has come to end of this interview, and what very interesting it has been. You have shared some very interesting insights with us. Thank you so much for taking out time.
Thank you for
Thank you.
making me part of this conversation.